Okay, here we go again. My word, I don't know. Okay, so let's start off by putting this bit on. Can you see this bit? Yeah, good. I'm sure you can. And if you can't, well, there we are. We have to put all these bits in. Yep. And darn. Oh, there it is. Right. That's good. That's not tight, but it's there. And then we'll put this one, this end in. And oh, well, now, I had a phone call yesterday from a friend of mine who said, do you want a 3D scanner? And I said, oh, might be interesting, yeah, since I intend to get another 3D printer. And so he gave me a telephone number and I met up with a chap. Well, a chap actually came this morning and he delivered a 3D printer which I have plugged in and switched on, and back to the old sort of thing which used to happen, well, it happened to me anyway, and that is that it wouldn't, something to do with COM port 1. It said COM port 1 wasn't ready, or is it being used by something else? Well, this is a little bit strange. Oh, I do hate these things. A little bit strange because the answer is that in fact, since it's a what do they call it, USB, as far as I can see, that ought to be fine. I don't know. So I suppose I'm going to use that. Is that what? No, it's that end. So I haven't 3D scanned anything yet. We shall have to see. These things are always a bit peculiar because he's a bugger. Got it, I think. Particularly tight situation there. Anyway, what has subsequently happened since I did the last video? I think the last video was seen. It's quite interesting looking at the stats and things that they give you to look at. Basically they say something along the lines of, nobody much is looking at your videos, but not to worry. And yet then surprisingly, one video has actually had 4 people look at it, and I'm thinking, there must be some mad buggers about if they actually want to look at videos of me wiggling this in and whittling along as per usual about what I like and don't like. And like I said before, if you want music, I'll sing. And honestly, you don't want that. You do not want that. Good. That's that bit finally fixed. I think so. Did I get that? Yeah. Yeah, they're alright. All done. Good. Now next, I shall have to look at this. Done that, done that, done that. Done that, done that. Oh right, there's this piece here. This is an awfully floppy piece, because what they do is, they don't just cut the outside, but they actually, you might not be able to see this, but I can, if I do that, you can see that it expands and whatever, and it has to go in here. And there are lots of, they actually supply you with two pieces exactly like this, which I have a feeling is because if you're not careful, you can end up breaking this before you even start. And there it is. Look, doesn't that look curved? Yeah, right, okay. It looks curved. And then there's this bit, which goes in like that. Isn't that clever? Alright, it's not clever. And then these go down. There we are. So yes, I was thinking about another 3D printer because they are a bit different to the last one. They've upgraded these things quite considerably. P7, which is the long bolt, is that one there. So that's a long one, goes right the way through and has a nut on the back. And you could say it has a nut putting a nut on the back, ha ha ha, but probably not. So anyway, so actually going back to the 3D scanner, which I can't get to work, but not to worry. Ah, that's good. If I can get at the nut on the back, that's fine, but I couldn't with the others. And I've now got, I wonder what that is. Oh well. I keep wondering about you know, what this hole there is for, whatever. It's got to be for something, and it will be for something. But this thing sort of develops as you build it, which is actually quite interesting. As you think, well, I've no idea what's going to happen there, or how on earth is that going to work? And then you do a bit more and you discover just how it does work, which is interesting. I'd still like it if this was actually coloured. I think it would be much nicer. Perhaps I'll have to take it all apart and colour it, because I can't see myself buying another one just to colour it. I mean, if I were a rich man, which I'm not, yeah. Oh dear. I'm just wondering if I've actually got, see, I have this little set that I bought in Lidl's, I always like Lidl's tools, Parkside, because they are cheap to start off with, which cheap is definitely one of my favourite. That'll do it. Yes, it would. Golly. I know I've lost the down. Oh, there it is. This is actually a star driver, but it's a 6-pointed star, so therefore, oh, that's much better. Oh boy, is that easier. I didn't know one going over there to look at that when I could do that. And hey presto. Hey presto. Golly. Well, that was good. Yes, it's got all sorts of things in there. They're sort of little flat-ended blades, teeny weeny, which I think you could probably use for watchmaking if you wanted to. And those have got little, no idea what they are. They're so small that I can barely see them. But there he is. And it's also got little sockets, drive nuts, and possibly drive me nuts, who knows. Ah, right. That there, this piece here is fixed to this piece with, now I'm going to hold this up. I hope you can see that in front of the camera there, right? It's a teeny weeny little T-shaped piece, and it's a bugger to get in there. So what you do is you put it in the tweezers like that, actually back here a little bit, right? And even then it's a little bugger to hold on to. Right, so you get it back somewhere here, and you can see that it's square with the things, and therefore you can put it in like that, square it, and just push it down in. I tried with my fingers for several minutes and it was just hopeless. So some of these things are a bit difficult, but that's only fiddly difficult. The whole thing turns out to be relatively simple, and I've just come to a piece, or I know I'm coming to a piece which won't be on the video today, but I'm coming to a piece where I'm going to have to do an awful lot of rehearsal. In order, damn, to get it, yeah. In order to be able to sort of actually do it on camera, because it is so involved. Right. So, we will start off here with F30 and F31. Can we find F30? Yes, we can. Can we find F31? I think it's got to be that. Yes, it is. And I don't, for some reason, seem to have enough of these. Damn things. Where's it gone? I will be honest with you, I reckon the answer to this is probably cocktail sticks. Because the problem is, oh no, I thought I had it in there. No, I haven't. They are very likely to delaminate. I've actually finally got that somewhere handy to being in there. And I haven't got enough of these. I know I haven't got anywhere near enough of them. By 2. Alright, so I'm too short. I'll find them in something. There. And that then goes on there like that. Oops. That didn't work. And like I say, the little buckets delaminate if you're not careful, and that one is doing just that. So we may have to come back to that, and then that goes in there like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the first one, and I seem to have managed to. Nope. There's more. These tiny pieces are so easy to mislay. Really easy to mislay. So I would think that for anybody who is going to make one of these, go and get a packet of cocktail sticks. Can you still get cocktail sticks? I don't know. See? A tiny little sods. Right. One, and this is a really ridiculous thing for people to have to watch, and normally they'd speed up the it's all they, isn't it? People who do proper videos do some editing, which I don't do because I've got no editing software. I could get some. In fact, I think I did have some at one time. But truth of the matter was, I didn't know what to do with it anyway. So, right. Yeah, so, dear me. Yep, got it. What was I saying? You know, that doesn't go there, does it? Well, if I do put that there, then I have blanked off that, and that makes no sense at all. If I do that, no. There's an electronic, I think it's photosensor to check when a ball goes up there, I think. and I cannot see that that can possibly go there. It are nonsensical, and yet I feel sure that it should go. I think perhaps that we shall need to do some a little bit of sort of researching type stuff into that. I'm going to leave that for the moment because otherwise my audience is going to get bored, basically, because I sure as hell would. Now, on this side we put an R that's got wiggles on the top, and on this side we put an R which hasn't, but it does have an hole in it, but that one doesn't. So this one's got a hole in it, and that one doesn't. Aha! Now, that one gets that. I don't know why it gets that. But then you see, as I said earlier, very often I don't know why it does, because I haven't gone on to the next section, and the next section will probably tell me why. That thing is still supposed to go in there, and yeah. Right, well, I've got various other little bits here. There are these bits here, two of them. Yes. Oh, this is a dagger I see before me. Yeah, okay. Probably not. Well, those are loose in there. Aha! That bit goes there. These are ramp supports, because there is a, like a, you know, yeah, a ramp. And C16 times 2, and C41 apparently goes in there. I'm beginning to wonder about all of this. Oh yeah. Oh. Yes. And then C41, C26, and over here it says C15. Yep, which goes in there. Right. Oh. That's the one that I haven't fitted. That, wait for it, goes there. up there it says danger. That's what it says. Danger. Here there be dragons. Possibly. And that is all the bits I have to fit, except this one bit here, which I don't think is right, because it just doesn't go in there unless you do it that way round. Even if you do it that way round, it has to be said, it's not that keen on going in there. Nope. No, it isn't. Well, it kind of goes in there that way round, but that's not suitable. I think that is somehow or other incorrect. It's that piece, you see, and there is this, as I say, photoelectric cell here, which must point that in that direction. I think we're going to leave that for the moment and say that is all for now. That's the ramp going up there, and we will put some more bits in another time. We will. Okay.